and we're not prepared to accept that anymore.
Well, in giving Nigeria an assessment of 2 out of 10 for the period of, looking at things over the last 60 years. So do you take some responsibility having served in government?
I'll take as much responsibility as you should, and I'll tell you why. I've just analyzed to you our record in public office. And you need to go and check that. Whether you believe me or not, go and check it. It's not 100%. But
I hear that. I just needed a clarification.
No. So I've answered the question. My answer to your question is that I take as much responsibility as you should. Because you know something, I'm getting a little tired of the fact that those that refuse to get into the fray and sacrifice all will continuously criticize those that have done so. Even if we made mistakes in the past, for the last 5 years, every single day, and before then, before the 5 years, some of us have risked everything, our lives, our liberty and everything, trying to stand up for truth and speaking against the excesses of this government. And somebody somewhere will say that we should be held accountable. Why should I be held accountable? I told you what would happen if Buhari came in. I said it to a point that even elements in the PDP were saying, oh, it's too much, it will never be that bad. The same people that said so, some of them are now crying under their beds every day that if only we had listened to you. So even if we didn't get it right then, we have done we have done more than enough over the last few years to cause people to respect the fact that we are trying our best to put our country back on the, unlike others, we're not sitting and just commentating. We are sitting right in the middle of these people, despite the fact that you criticize them, they lock you up, they detain you, they put you in Boko Haram cells, and so on and so forth. They do it to everybody that criticizes. We're doing that. We're making that sacrifice. So for us, it's not just a game. It's a serious issue, and we're sacrificing everything, persecution, all sorts of things, because we're standing up for you and for other Nigerians and for ourselves to get our country back. So yes, I take some of the responsibility, just as I think you should, and I think every other Nigerian should. We need to all do our part. We all need to all play our role. We all need to all make the sacrifice. We need to come back here and try to make a change and stand up against the tyranny that our people are facing on a daily basis.
I'm happy to hear that you're at least you're willing to take some responsibility.
I said you will take as much as me, if not more, because unlike you, I have tried to get into the fray. And you know the easiest thing to do is this: criticize those that have got into the fray and sit on the sidelines. So I will say it again: you have an even greater share of the blame for the mess that we're, and I'm not being personal about this. I don't know you. I'm not trying to be rude to you. What I mean is, generally speaking, people, Nigerians, particularly those that are well educated and have some kind of stake in this country, and are living abroad and so on and so forth, I think they also have a great duty to try and come back and do something meaningful to try to change the situation. Because the easiest thing in the world is to sit back, either here or outside the country, and criticize and do nothing. We are doing everything we can to reverse this situation. Now, I've criticized PDP governments. I've criticized Jonathan. I've criticized Obasanjo. I've criticized Yaradua on numerous occasions. I've even criticized myself on numerous occasions and the government that I served. And we do that because we want a better Nigeria. So when we're talking about blame, there's enough blame to go round. But unlike others, we got into the fray. And we have tried our best. If others can do better, let them come and do it. They're most welcome.
I think one or two things are based on assumptions there. Yes, everybody has a responsibility here. Everybody needs to take some blame. But the difference between you and I is that you served in government. I did not serve in government. I
served in government, and we left government 13 years ago, Mr. Man.
Yes, you left 13 years ago.
But if you want us to have a discussion on Obasanjo's tenure and my tenure, we can do that. That's a separate issue. But you see, there was a question I was trying to. The point I will make is this, and I will.
Chief Fani-Kayode, when you were speaking earlier on, I allowed you to sort of flow.
After this, I will say nothing. All right. The point I wanted to make, and I insist on making, is this. Okay, if we're going to have a discussion about my tenure or Obasanjo's tenure, all well and good, and I will defend that tenure with you. If we're going to have a discussion about Nigeria generally and about our situation today, 13 years after we left government, then let's do that. But if you want to make it about FFK or Femi Fani-Kayode, or, oh, you must have a part of the blame, I will answer the way I answered before. You may say that, but I think that you equally have. When you say you have not been in government, therefore you cannot be, you don't have to be in government to make a contribution. You don't have to be part of any administration to make a contribution.
You're
so
missing
the
point.
No, I'm not missing the point. I think really I'd like to move on from here.
Let me quickly come in to bring in Marian.
To come and be told
Marian,
with due respect, I think you're taking this too personal.
I should take responsibility for Buhari. You must be very stupid to say that.
I beg your pardon. Chief Fani-Kayode, please, I think you need to mind your language.
What are you doing?
With due respect, I have never at any point told you that you need to take responsibility.
Alistair, you please take care of them.
Can I just bring in Marian?
Alistair, can you take...
please?
Marian, can I bring in Marian from Prime TV?
Marlene, my name is Marlene Onyocha. Marlene Onyocha.
Thank you, Marlene.
You're welcome. Sorry about all this, Chief Femi. Thank you so much for attending this meeting today. It is actually a privilege to have you on board today. But my question, I just have one question, taking us towards restructuring. I know you're a friend of Mazen Namdi. And I know you have been talking about Biafra. You spoke about a little bit about Biafra. But this time around, I'm not taking you to Biafra or Nigeria. You mentioned about the instability, security instability in Nigeria, how we have all the service chiefs from the north. So my question now is, what's your take on do you think we should restructure the system, or do you think they should just let Biafra go? I'm a Biafran, actually. So, but I'm not IPOB, but I'm just saying, do you think they should let the regionals go and then restructure Nigeria? Hello?
He's already left.
He was upset.
He was already left. I was actually going to comment that that's extremely rude. Irrespective of whether he liked Femi Okutubo's question or not, for somebody in his position, that's very,
Where is the moderator?
It's quite very sad for him to have left like that. With that,
no,
disrespect to all of us, and
we can talk amongst ourselves.
Sorry, can I say something here? Where is the moderator? Where is the moderator? Alistair.
I think he's going to appease FFK.
Okay,
please just stay with us because I need to know.
On a serious note, if I were him, I would have left also.
Why would you leave?
I've been attending meetings. I'll tell you why. I've been attending meetings over meetings.
Yeah.
This is the only meeting I have come into, and it wasn't like a dialogue meeting. It was like an attack. It shouldn't have been an attack.
But
no,
with due respect, with due respect, sorry, sister. Sorry, Ben, I would just want to quickly make a point. With due respect, sister, he had a very responsible position and is well respected. That's why he was brought to this, to this meeting as a very responsible person. Even if he didn't like the line of questioning, I would have expected more from him. But to me, even if I didn't know him before, if I respect him before, I'm telling you, the respect I have for him is gone, because the way disrespected at this forum this evening, I mean, I'm really ashamed even to say he's a Yoruba person. I tell you, you don't have to like the line of questioning, the position of authority, the position of responsibility he held. He should have, okay, I'm sorry, I did my best, but you know how things work. It shows actually why.
Yeah, well, hello, Mr. Sunday Lambe.
No, I'm sorry.
Can I say something, sir?
No, when I finish, you can say.
All right.
So therefore, I'm very, very, disappointed with the way he behaved, and that is it.
This is totally all live, and.
Can I say something, Mr. Lambe?
Yeah, you can.
Please.
We are still online,
Yes, we are all online.
So can we please be caution how we talk, please?
Yes, because this thing is all live everywhere.